Hello there, friends, on this wonderful Wednesday, April 4th, 2018. It is very late at night. I should be headed home. Should be going to bed, but yet all I can really do is endlessly drive around, park in places, and just stare off into the distance with the windows open and the whatever background noise there is. Watched a movie today at a movie theater. Got a coffee, since there's nothing. I'm sticking to my 0-carb diet, going well. So there's nothing realistically there for me to eat. So I thought I'd get a coffee, just a nice old black coffee. And it's one of those where the upfront mug costs a bunch, but you have infinite refills. But realistically, how many refills are you actually gonna do? It was like $6 Like, okay, alright, well, I should have just stuck to the water. Yeah, I was, today's my day off from work. I was just dreading it the entire day, going to go see this movie with my friends, lowercase f in quotations. I like them. I do like them, but it's I feel like I'm physically there, but mentally I'm somewhere else completely, It's, if I didn't have to watch movies as my vague socializing, I would never watch any. I don't know how people can really get into them endlessly, It's at work, you'll watch these people checking out stacks and stacks of movies, and week after week, day after day, it's, I don't know how people can do it. My favorite part, though, of course, is they'll show the previews and they'll have the reviews for the movie. It's always some sort of horse shit about, oh, this is captivating and blah blah blah. This is this generation's Exorcist. Now these are utterly meaningless words. So there was that. It's back to work. It's work 30 hours a week, folks, and yet it feels like my entire life revolves around working there. Guess at least I'm a good employee, right? You get my little pat on the back. I got good reviews, good compliments. Not that I'm necessarily going for that or anything like that. It's just I know that I do a good job, but at the end of the day, it feels absolutely meaningless. You're reliable, and you help out, and you go out of your way to let people know what's going on, and helping out, and respecting people's decisions and all. That's actually one thing that's sort of funny, how in some ways I'm very good at reading social situations and knowing I could say this, but I should also add this to it, because I don't want the person to think that oh, I'm going against their decision, so they might think something. And that's been noticed, and people will compliment me on, oh, thanks for offering to do that thing, and also thank you for sort of the part where you talked about, maybe you won't do this if the person's already made a decision. Basically realizing, maybe this person's already made a decision, and you would respect that if it would go against what you were going to do, stuff like that. So, but yet when it comes to, having anything to do with women and romance, I am, that is a barrier that I apparently seemingly cannot cross. It's funny. It's just funny. But yeah, it's at work. It's just pointless and meaningless. At least you're a good employee, I guess at least there's that. So, was working on one-legged squats, just progressing on them. I sort of made a decision, I really this year want to build up. I really want to build up to weighted pull-ups and dips, and I've decided that I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to be a little bitch about like some of the discomfort I still have with the climber's elbow. It's not pain. It's just a remaining discomfort of like with some things that I'm going to work through it. Obviously not if it hurts, but not just, not be averse to any little bit of discomfort. But at the same time, working on the, with all the research I've done and how to fix it, actually really sticking to that, because it's one of those things that doesn't really heal fast and takes time. So it's although I can see a comment right now, and I'm willing to bet this is probably going to be James Brophy who writes this about, instead of going to a doctor, here you are just sort of doing it by yourself. Of course, way ahead of you, buddy. James, if you were gonna write that, I already can see it in my mind. So way ahead of you. Sorry. So yeah, I know I said it's not like it's pain per se. It's just like a leftover lingering. You use one tool for a while, it sort of helps a bit, but it doesn't completely get rid of it. So I said some of the research I've done. Been trying stuff out and really forcing myself to stick to it too, where it's one of those, you get home, you work out, you make dinner, you're tired, it's like, oh yeah, and I have to do this one exercise for this, but it's like, no, I must do this. But yeah, I was working on one-legged squats. So besides, sorry, that was quite a tangent. So I want to build up to weighted pull-ups and dips this year, in addition to being able to do unassisted one-legged squats. And I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Actually, not think, I know I can do it. So those are sort of my fitness goals for 2018. Did I say it was 2018 or did I say it was 2017? I don't know. Generally speaking, I've been pretty good this year of like 2018. And I feel like I barely still kept saying the last year. But I was doing sort of one-legged squats, sitting down kind of on my bed. Decided to watch some YouTube videos, just some stuff in the sidebar. Obviously, due to the stuff I've watched, you get recommendations from MGTOW stuff, and I watched this one channel. Interesting guy. Made a couple of videos touring his place, talking about his life and all that. it was interesting and also something very sad about it too, like almost tragic in a way. Maybe this is the part where I can't tell. Do you ever sort of like hear about someone's life and just something about their voice or something like that? You can sense something, but it's one of those things I can't tell if I'm just projecting my own misery onto them, or if I'm accurate, or maybe what I feel is what this person feels too, so you can sort of pick that up. But I just got this sense of like, he's got money and doing well in some things, but not really much success with the ladies. But it was this feeling I got that was, how would you describe it? The fuck is that? It must be a duck. Sounds like quacking. Okay, that was weird. Never heard a duck this late before. Alright, whatever, but I got this sense of a feeling of an unlived life. Like something was missed, because this is a feeling, like I said, this is a feeling I've had too, so like I said, maybe I'm projecting, maybe I can sense it, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. And, when I was watching these videos, the word irrelevance came into my head for some reason. And as a thought, I don't know how to finish the thought, but it's something that irrelevance, I think, is probably something that a lot of people have to kind of contend with and struggle, and that can really eat you up. Now, by irrelevance, I don't necessarily mean like popularity or celebrity status or something like that. Although, you could say, in a way, there is some truth to it, and that, some of the celebrities that are like has-beens, they got nothing going on, and you see some of them kind of fall apart and all that. There is, I guess, some relation to that with regular people, but I guess you could say not so much irrelevance, but biological irrelevance, where it's sort of these realities of, getting older, maybe still being single, so it's not like you've got a family that you're raising and there's that going on, sort of the gradual loss of any social circles. It's sort of this, you're kind of just being washed away, so to speak, by life. That's a thing that is not very fun to deal with and acknowledge too, right? It is. It's the inevitable sort of endless cycle with each new generation and all that. That when you're younger, you still have a sense of, oh, this is your generation, this or that, and sort of have this feeling that the world revolves around you or something. But just, you get older, new people, whatever, and you get to disappear, and it will go on and on and on. and the realities of, I guess, not wanting to acknowledge that sometimes, right? And how painful it can be, especially if it feels like you never actually live life. And this is not, oh, well, you didn't travel, or like you didn't have sex or something like that. It's hard to quantify or define. What does that mean? An unlived life. There's just something is missing. Maybe it is the lack of a relationship and the lack of a family that, you sort of partake in that natural cycle of what, maybe something that you were supposed to do, oh, nobody has a mission in life. I don't know. So it's, in tandem, or I say in together. Maybe that's what tandem means. Those are two very difficult things to feel. Sorry, I'm not really even sure where this is going. This is why I said I don't really know how to... The word came into my head, but I didn't know how to completely wrap my head around the thought just yet. I will say, one thing that is scary, folks, is definitely the thought of, well, let's say you get a good job, and then you get a place of your own, but you never actually find anyone. So it just turns into, well, you go to this job that you make good money, and all you're really doing is just saving up so you can comfortably die alone later in life. That's, I don't know what's worse, that or still being in the same situation I'm in years later. I don't know. It is pretty scary to watch, like, MGTOW videos from dudes who are in their, like, late 40s and just stuff like that. Because, me being 33 this year, later this year, feels like a stone throws away. And just, oh, man, it's, just the thought of being older, still alone, but, life just becomes, well, you can just make money, but now there's even more working against you, and due to age and things like that. Oh, well, you'll just find, you'll become financially, you'll become financially independent, and the women are all just going to come crawl to you. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, do you, like, if you actually, like, I don't know how it is where you live, like, whenever I see somebody in a nice car here, it's always like a boomer, and he's always alone. You know, I never see the, oh, it's like an older dude with this young girl and he's got money and she's all over him. That is yeah. It's a funny situation to be in where you're no longer young, but you're not old yet either. But at the same time, you don't really have like the standard, like you have a family or something like that. So it's just a weird precarious position to be in. Where I just think some of the stuff, some of these people who are like in their early 20s think that, they're like, that what they think is going to work for them is also going to work for you. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. People really don't want to acknowledge some of the unfortunate truths of getting older that I guess maybe the silver lining is in some way I don't want to say it's a blank slate because you got nothing going on. So I guess in theory you can do whatever the hell you want, right? It's not like you have baggage per se that comes with something. I wouldn't say a clean slate. I'd say a dirty slate. You just kind of wiped off and, well, you've built a personal mental hell for yourself that people can't really understand because everything on the outside seems fine, and looking at it now, it was done day by day, brick by brick. It didn't happen overnight, and now it's just, why don't you just change? Why don't you just change? You've really trained your mind to run in a very weird fucking way. What am I doing out here? Well, folks, I guess I'll call it a night. This video made absolutely no sense. I don't know, maybe I should delete it or something. Good night.